nurturing innovation as the theme of the Teacher Day 2024. Yeah. Okay. So you know we have just launched the LMS. Yeah. Uh-huh. So we want to like link some content about LMS to your answer as an innovative learning method at our end. So if you think of anything that relevant to your answer, you can mention about the LMS.
Okay.
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 So, first question, in your opinion, why is innovation important in education today?
Well, what better way than to say it's a forward-thinking movement. You know, you want your students to really engage with topics, and what better way than to do that with innovation? Innovation is all about finding new ways to solve problems, to be more creative, to work on your critical thinking, and ultimately that leads to a different perspective on how to do things. So what I think is super important as an educator is to hone in on those skills and find different ways to be innovative, because if you take a traditional context of learning from the textbook, well, okay, we're reading, we're writing, okay, cool. Those are very important skills to have, but how can we make it so that students are not number one bored? I think that is such an important thing to consider. And being innovative it doesn't take much to find one good idea that you can carry on throughout. For example, with the new LMS that we've just started, number one thing, technology. We're living in a world at the moment where everything is technologically based. So in order to be more creative and apply that to within our classrooms, why not make that our main focus? I mean, we've got the LMS system where we teach through technology, right? And it makes it fun for the students because they can interact with that. And what better way to learn than, you know, actual interaction where we're not just like, hey teacher, you know. And for me, I think that's super important because, again, you're teaching them not just a reading skill, but how can I use the skill within the technological field? And not just technology, but just finding creative ways to solve certain situations. I think that's what I think.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good question. Sorry, it's a good answer. So, can you share some specific example of how you have incorporate innovation into your classroom or your teaching methods?
Oh, very, very easily, I can say, in terms of technology, it's a lot more blended, where yes, I'm standing in front of the class, or I'm sitting next to a student, and I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to play Bamboozle, for example, online. Very interactive, very competitive. So that alone, those 3 or 4 things together, my gosh, there's no way I can explain how, especially with my junior levels, the excitement. And that's like, you know, yes, it's a game and they're excited to play the game, but without them really knowing, they're learning new things. They're like, oh, we're competing. We want to win. They want to win. Who's going to win, right? And like, Teacher Mickey's going to choose, whatever, you know? And you really just want to give them an activity or an experience where they feel they are in control. For example, different ways of solving problems within a activity. I will pose a question, but I'm not giving you the answer. I'm giving you the layout. Think about this, think about that, think about whatever, you know, and you go with it. Nothing you can possibly say is going to be completely incorrect. And I think that is a form of being different. Innovation is about being different, finding different ways, as I said before, and that alone, in the context of critical thinking, gives them all a different perspective, because one thing I remind my students, even my adults, which I absolutely adore teaching my adult class, because it's them realizing they actually have a perspective. And what's more beautiful than that? You know, like, you're not just coming here to, yes, I want to focus on my pronunciation, I want to focus on my fluency. Great. But what are you going to use to fill those gaps of your pronunciation and fluency struggles? You know, you need the content. And to be able to talk about something, you really, really need to engage with it. And finding ways, like I said, bamboozle, giving different content ideas, topic discussions. My main one is, and I think it should be a main focus for any teacher, would be making that entire lesson or topic student-centered. I shouldn't be doing all the talking. I should be, as we call ourselves, the facilitators of, you know what, these are your building blocks, but you are in charge of how you choose to use this. And I think that opens the space of them being able to use any form of innovation within, you know, the classroom or within their lifestyle. I think that gives us access to any and everything that we really want to engage with. So, yeah.
Okay, so next, what are some challenges you have faced in trying to be innovative teacher, and how you address it?
Wow, that's happened so many times when I started this journey specifically. I think the concern I had was my lessons would be too boring. You know, maybe one group likes this game or this activity, and then 3 other groups are like, ooh, you know. So what am I going to do? And I had a problem like that once, actually. I'm not afraid to admit it. You know, I think that's how we learn. That my students, they didn't like this one activity. I think it was a silly game. Writing the answer on the board, right? So I would show them like a picture, or I'd say a word, and they'd have to fill in the blank or spell the word, right? And then it became so mundane, and I was like, oh, but all my other classes like this game. Like, what's wrong with this class? What am I doing wrong, you know? And I'm only saying, like, choosing this specific class because they were a great class, you know, excited, noisy, everything that I like, you know, like, we work well. And then I was talking, and this is, I feel like, helped me a lot, and why I say it's so important to work in an environment where you can share your concerns with your colleagues and have their support. And that would be, I went to my friends and I told them, and I was like, guys, I'm stuck. And I'm worried this is going to be a bad reflection on me, you know. And obviously your ego would be like, you know, like, oh man, why do I have this one class that just does not get me? And they gave me many, many ideas. What I did was I took different ideas and I meshed them together. And I saw someone else when I was looking through a couple of resources, and one of the games they did was like lose a limb. And let me tell you, wow, what an experience. My kids went insane. That was the best thing I've seen happen, and I still use that till this day. So it's always about trying to better the environment, and finding your ways, not just sitting and thinking by yourself, you know, like, what am I going to do? You know, go out and speak to people. That's why they're there, you know, and that's why you're there, because you might not know it, but you going to someone and asking them is, in a way, super rewarding for them as well, because maybe they had a question that they couldn't answer, they couldn't solve. So it's a win-win, and you're supporting each other, you know. Everyone wants to be successful together, you know, so might as well just go for it, you know. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. So, a last question. So, how do you encourage your students to be innovative and creative learners?
Wow. I think it's reminding, or not I think, I believe it's reminding them that we're not the same. So everyone has good ideas, everyone has bad ideas. You have to be responsible for how you choose to approach something. You need to come with your perspective. Come with your personal experiences and use that to really nitpick. Find the little things that you feel like I can fine tune this. For example, just the basic thing, how can I improve my study methods? If you really want to do something, you would take the responsibility and not just sit at, like with the horse. They've got those blinkers on. Don't be that horse. Remove it. Remove that and look at everything else that you have, everything else that's out there that people have to offer, that you have to offer. So ultimately, one of the main things that moves that whole idea, that forward thinking, being innovative and as a student, is you as the teacher, you need to be that example. If they haven't got an example, how can we expect them to do anything the way we wish they could? So we have to put ourselves first again. It's not like I'm saying, me first, me. No, but ultimately the success of our students and what they believe they can do, it stems from us. It's almost, actually not, it's almost you in that 1 hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes. You are in that role of somewhat, not a parent, but you're a figure that they look at and they ask themselves, how is it possible that this individual is standing up in front of me and actually, trying to teach me these things? And with the confidence that you give off, with the real, I guess, expectation that you have as a teacher, put it out there for them, Let them know that they have an opportunity. These are their opportunities. It is, at the end of the day, up to them. And again, looking at innovation, obviously this is what it's all about. And when you can implement something, or you see a student implementing this form of innovation within their lives, you realize that it's so easy to influence someone when you come with the right intention. It's all about intention. Anything that you do is about intention. And if whatever innovation you have within you, what is your intention with that? If my intention is to teach kids just to make money,